everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, it is not going to be a typical video. It's not a fashion video, it's not a makeup video, it's not a hair video. It's just boring old me talking today. I felt like this is a really important topic that I wanted to talk about because I wanted to share my experience for people who are curious about nexplanon, and also explaining to you guys why I got mine taken out super early. A small disclaimer before I start talking, I want to say that I am no professional, I am no doctor. This is just me sharing my experience on nexplanon and just informing you guys about some things that I've learned and that I want to share with you. Here on my handy dandy super broken phone, I wrote down a few topics that I felt like was important to talk about. Number one is procedure, and the procedure was not that bad. Like, it really wasn't bad. I psyched myself out a lot by going on the internet and looking at videos of how the procedure was done and the pain and all of that stuff. So don't psych yourself out before getting it if you are thinking about getting it, because the procedure is honestly not even the painful part. So the procedure is super simple. It took about 10 to 15 minutes. You go into your doctor's office, that's where it's done, and you just put your arm on this little table thingy, and most likely they're gonna put it in your, your less predominant hand, your not strong hand basically, which is my left. And they put a numbing shot in first, which actually kind of burns, but like just kind of like a pinch, like a really quick pinch. And then they use another needle which has the implant in it, and they inject it and you're done. So that literally was the procedure, nothing too bad. Number two is the cost of the insurance. So depending on your basically, I guess, financial situation, depends on how much it is. Mine was free because I had Medicaid in Colorado, so the device was completely free to me. But if you don't have insurance, the device itself is about $2,000. It is a pretty pricey birth control, but with insurance it can be nothing to a few $100s. Something that I found informative after I got the birth control was their website, which is nexplanon.com. It just goes over everything with you: who shouldn't get the birth control, who should, risk, side effects, procedure, costs, everything like that you would need to know is on their website, which I can link down below for you guys. Prior to getting birth control, I knew nothing about it. I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know about side effects. I didn't know like anything at all. I would ask you guys please to just make sure that you look into what you're going to be putting in your body before getting it, because I wish I had have known before actually getting it. It is said for some people on birth control to completely not have their period anymore. Some girls can bleed heavier, some girls can bleed lighter, or it can just change when you start your period, when you end your period. The bleeding pattern just depends on how your body takes the birth control. For me, the beginning was pretty harsh. The first 2 months I bled basically every day straight. Some days it was super light, some day it was super heavy, and it wasn't a time I wasn't able to go without any type of protection for the first 2 months. After the first 2 months, I would say month 3, 4, and 5, it was a pretty normal bleeding pattern, but I still bled frequently. So it was pretty annoying, and you know, I was thinking my body's still just getting used to it and that it's gonna get better, but really the bleeding never got better for me. I just kept bleeding, just different scales of bleeding every day. And during the last month of me actually having birth control, I bled the heaviest. And this video is going to get a little graphic because I'm sharing details with you guys. But the blood was not just a normal blood. It was like, it was, man, it was like a grayish red. Like, I don't even know how to describe it to you guys. Like, it wasn't normal blood. And it was very uncomfortable. The odor was really bad, and I knew that something just wasn't right in my body, and I knew it was because of the birth control. So with nexplanon, bleeding never really got better for me. It was just making me bleed at different levels, like I said. The other major side effect that I had experienced was mood swings. And let me tell you guys, it was awful. Like, me, I'm a pretty happy person. I really don't get angry too quick, and when I do, I can easily let it go. But the emotions that I felt on it was just annoying, and it was just like every little thing would like piss me off. Like, I would get pissed, or when I would get sad, I would get very sad. And there are times when I would just start crying out of nowhere. Like, I would just cry and I would get really emotional, and like nothing would be wrong with me, but I was just very upset. And after I moved to where I am now, I had recently just bought an apartment for myself, and that is a really big accomplishment, to have your own, you know, apartment, your own car, you know, just taking those bigger steps in life. And after I bought my apartment, like, I wasn't excited. Like, I felt depressed. And now that I'm not on my birth control, I look back and I think about it, and I'm like, I'm super happy that I got my place. But on birth control, I was just so depressed and upset. Like, nothing made me really happy. I was just moody all the time. So that was the one big disappointment with birth control, was my mood swings, because they were serious. So another topic that kind of went into nexplanon was sex. After getting the implants, you're supposed to wait 7 days after you get it. And I think this is with any birth control. You have to wait at least 7 days to have unprotected sex. Or if you get your birth control within the first, I guess, 5 days of your period, then you're instantly protected. But for me, I got mine on a random day. I got mine on August 28th of 2018. And I got mine taken out June 25th of 2019. Next, after I got my implant, was pretty painful. The first month was fine. The second month was okay. The third month was painful. And I didn't understand why. Like, I was in pain, what was going on, what had happened. But like, I would feel an immense amount of pain in my stomach area after having sex. And I felt like I had to shit and vomit at the same time. It was a really, really bad feeling, but I felt like I had to use the bathroom like really, really bad, and I would hold my stomach for like 10 to 15 minutes after having sex because my stomach just hurt really, really bad. And there were even a few times where right after, like instantly, I would vomit. Comes to find out and learning, 3 months after getting nexplanon, I had ovarian cyst, and that is one of the side effects that can come with it, which I did get, and that I did not know until month 6 of having my nexplanon. I had a vaginal ultrasound and just a regular stomach ultrasound, and the results came back that I had cyst on my left ovaries. Unfortunately, I had to suffer with mine from month 3 to month 7. It got to the point where I was just terrified of sex. I just didn't want to have it. I didn't know what was going on. It was just a really upsetting feeling. I knew the pain that I was going to be in after it was said and done. Also, another side effect that I experienced was weight gain. And so honestly, for this one, I was pretty active around the time I first got it, and then slowly I became less active, but that's because I started working more. I've moved locations, so my life kind of changed in a few ways, so I wasn't as active as I was, but I started to gain weight. But I felt like the weight was just double because of the birth control as well. I ended up gaining 40 I gained 40 pounds in 3 months, and that's a big weight jump when it comes to gaining weight. But I was still active, I was still doing things, but the weight just doubled on me. Birth control removed was because the side effects were just a little bit too serious for me, and I did not like the way that it made me feel personally. Of course, everybody is different. This may not happen to you, but I just wanted to share my experience with you guys and some of the more serious side effects that it can give to you. But yeah, that was all for today's video. I hope that you guys maybe learned something, or that I answered a question that you had. But that was all that I wanted to say about it. Overall, I would never get nexplanon again. Like I said, everybody is different. It may work for you, but it did not work for me. So I am on a different kind right now, which I will also review when it's done or whenever I decide to not have it anymore. I don't know. But right now, I'm happy with what I have. And thank you guys so much for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, let me know what you think down below. If you have questions, let me know as well. And that's it for today's video. I love you guys, and I shall see you next time. Bye.